Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
A Rolette County Sheriff's deputy was honored in our nation's capital tonight.
His name never to be forgotten, Colt Allery. He was shot and killed in January of 2017 and leaves behind a legacy.
Valley News Team's Alana Austin reports from National Police Week.
Family, friends, and fellow police are remembering fallen hero Colt Allery as devoted to public service and his community.
Colt E. Allery.
At this National Peace Officers ceremony, attended by thousands on the Capitol lawn, loved ones placed flowers in memory of the 129 officers who died in the line of duty in 2017. That included Allery.
He was just one of a kind.
Allery's fiancée, Alexandria Gillis, traveled from North Dakota to Washington with their family. She says even though Allery is gone, his memory lives on, especially for their son, Zenon.
He is the spitting image of his dad. It's just like you're looking at Colt all over again.
Allery died in pursuit of a suspect in a stolen car. The suspect opened fire on Allery. Both men died after a shootout.
He was really amazing.
That final act of heroism won't just be remembered by Gillis and their community. His name now etched into the marble walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial for all to see. In Washington, Alana Austin, Valley News Live.
Allery leaves behind 4 children and a stepdaughter whom he planned to adopt. He also served as a tribal police officer and corrections officer earlier in his career.
U.S. North Dakota Senator John Hoeven also paid tribute to Allery on the U.S. Senate floor today. The senator stated that Deputy Allery's life and service exemplified courage and a willingness to do whatever had to be done, regardless of circumstance.
Deputy Allery was only 29 years old, but had spent much of his young life serving in law enforcement. His loved ones said he was happiest when he was doing for others, which is why he chose law enforcement for his career.
Deputy Allery was remembered locally as well at tributes to fallen officers.
Fargo Public Schools is putting the future of its Setting D facility back in the hands of the school board after West Fargo Public Schools announced its students would not attend this special education only facility at Agassiz next fall. Fargo leaders say the new direction for the collaborative project and other district facilities will be considered over the summer at a school board retreat.
They'll have to make some determinations about what's appropriate for programming across the district. So whether it's a Setting D school, whether it's how do you deal with the overcrowding that's going to exist at Discovery or Davies, whether it's looking at repurposing some other type of building, it could be many different options.
For the Fargo students who currently require a Setting D facility, Dr. Schatz says the administrative team will work over the summer to determine how best to serve them while the Agassiz plan is still in limbo.
We're nearing the end of a beautiful day, and it looks like some of us will see even more warmth tomorrow. Hutch, the breeze was kind of nice tonight.
Indeed, it was. That northerly wind did keep things or southerly wind rather, did keep things clear here in the Southern Valley until the smoke blew in. We had that on time lapse earlier. Here's a look at your high temperatures today. Mid 80s up in the Northern Valley, low 80s here in Fargo-Moorhead. More summer-like weather today. By the way, visible satellites showed that burp of smoke from the fire moving through the FM area around midday. Tonight, a few showers along the international border. The rest of us, though, will remain very quiet as temperatures won't get quite as cold tonight. I expect temperatures in the mid-50s to start your morning tomorrow. I'll have details on how warm we get, and then there's some significant rain potential in the forecast. Details in a moment.
Rain would be good.
Yes.
Thanks.
He was one of 32 people accused of dealing large amounts of fentanyl that led to the death of an 18-year-old in Grand Forks. Anthony Gomes of Florida pleaded guilty in federal court to numerous drug-related charges as well as money laundering. The investigation into the international drug trafficking ring began when Bailey Henke was found dead inside a Grand Forks apartment building in January 2015. Authorities say Henke overdosed on fentanyl supplied by a man from Portland, Oregon, who told police he could be the largest fentanyl dealer in the country. The case included 5 defendants who are Chinese nationals and was so big that Attorney General Jeff Sessions traveled to North Dakota last month to announce 10 more indictments in the case.
A local school bus driver has been fired after her bus hit and injured a young girl yesterday. The victim was riding her bike near Freedom Elementary in West Fargo when she was hit and suffered a broken foot. A check into the bus driver's record uncovered that she had been previously ticketed for speeding while kids were on her bus in November. And as part of that investigation, it was discovered that she had been going over the speed limit on multiple occasions. She was placed on a different bus route and under close observation by the school transportation department. No charges have been filed regarding yesterday's crash.
Unfortunately, our police officers are the first ones to respond to most of these calls for help.
Law enforcement is on the front lines when it comes to mental health challenges in the community.
Now there's a new campaign to get officers worldwide training that they need to cope with the rising number of people going through mental health crises. But local police say that to Valley News Live's Veronica Marshall, they have a better idea.
Don't you kick. Let's go. No!
This is something that is almost daily, where officers are dealing with somebody suffering from some sort of mental health crisis.
We receive a great deal of calls in regards to individuals who suffer from mental illness.
The number of people calling police in mental distress is rising. Dispatch logs show that last week alone, officers in Cass and Clay counties received about 40 calls to help with suicidal people.
This is something that we are dealing with as law enforcement on a much more regular basis than we were even 10 years ago.
To confront the challenge, the International Association of Chiefs of Police is backing the One Mind campaign. It asks law enforcement officers to meet the rise in mental health calls with help from community partners and an agency-wide policy. It also asks departments to train all of their sworn officers in mental health first aid and 20% of them in the Crisis Intervention Team, or CIT, response model. Officers here tell me they hadn't heard of the One Mind campaign, but they're already aiming higher. Instead of training all officers on the basic mental health first aid course, they want all officers trained on the CIT course, and that's a goal they're already working towards.
West Fargo, about 60 to 70% of all of our officers are trained in CIT.
The same goes for Moorhead Police, and about a quarter of Fargo's officers are trained in CIT as well, putting them above the campaign's CIT requirements.
Any officer who's gone through the CIT training would tell you that that it's been beneficial to get the training, get that extra tool in your tool belt to try to help solve these problems for people.
Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Officers that add that CIT training is a 40-hour course which teaches them how to spot the signs and symptoms of mental illnesses, de-escalation techniques, and how to work effectively with mental health providers.
A magical evening over in Moorhead as CCRI held its annual prom for people with disabilities. The celebration gives people supported by CCRI the opportunity to relive their high school prom, or for some, the chance to experience it for the first time. With family and friends seated around them, elegant prom goers enjoyed the grand march, dinner, and dance. Formal wear is donated by members of the community, and decorations are recycled from area high schools.
The first year we held our prom, we had 4 people attended. And we will probably have about 200 people out here this evening. It's such a great thing to feel a part of our community, to feel a part of something bigger than themselves, and truly the community embraces everything we do.
Certainly a night to remember for the nearly 200 prom goers and numerous others who attended the event.
Congrats to not only the participants, but the organizers as well.
Yes, it looked fun.
Great event. Physical activity being linked to better health and a better, longer life. But when it comes to a way of being a physically demanding job, it may not be good at all.
And plenty of people use acupuncture along with in vitro fertilization. But does it increase a woman's chance of getting pregnant? What researchers are saying. Up next.